3, 2, 1. Well, greetings world and greetings 7-Spot. It is time. It's time again for another virtual and socially distant sevens. As I promised, today we have something extremely special. Today we have a wonderful tour, if you will, of GBS, the Great British Sports Cars in England. And on the other end of the line, I have Richard Hall. And as I've always said, these things are not about me. They're about the stories that our cars can tell. And we'll get to that in a bit. But here it's about 17 degrees or 16 degrees in the morning, as we say. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm speaking to someone who's in England. I think it's 17 degrees, but the difference being it's 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in Richard Hall. One moment, please. Well, good afternoon, Richard. It's Jim.
Hello.
7-Spot Jim here, and we've got you at the GBS.
Hi, Jim.
We've got GBS here, and we are so pleased. Now, GBS is located where in UK?
So we're pretty smack bang in the middle of the UK, Nottinghamshire.
Wonderful.
Not too far from Sherwood Forest.
Wonderful.
And we're located here on 3 sites. And this is our main HQ.
Okay. Well, I'm going to, as I said to everybody, these stories are not about me.
So
and what I like to do is take myself out of the picture, and I'm going to turn it over to you because you've got a wonderful Zero right there, and it's so gorgeous. I can't tell you how much I admire your cars. And I would like you, if you can just take us for a nice walk around and tell us a bit about that particular car, and then just tell us a little bit about what's going on for you at GBS. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, that's great. This car we've got here is our latest demonstrator. It's running the Ford Duratec 2.5 litre, putting out about 200 horsepower and just shy of 200 pound-feet of torque. So it's pretty quick, very effortless performance.
Yes.
This one's got our own aluminium hubs, a lot of bespoke components. We've probably took a different approach to most other manufacturers. Now we wanted to actually be a proper British manufacturer and make more of the car. So it's a lot more bespoke, got a lot more control in the design and the manufacture of it, which has made us get a few more enhancements and features from it rather than using an off-the-shelf part. The whole Zero concept started back in 2007.
2007,
with the aim to try and make a modern day. So it's a few years ago now, and it's steadily evolved. But the aim was to make a modern day 7. So really wanted to try and capture, the Colin Chapman Lotus principle of a 7, but make it today, because technology has moved on. Everything's got a bit more grip everywhere. Yet we still wanted to keep that principle that everyone loves so much. So there's a lot more modern thinking. So the chassis was a clean sheet of paper. The idea was to do an optimized space frame, getting the maximum rigidity, yet still keeping the weight down. We wanted to stick with the traditional aluminium panels. So you've got that traditional coach work, but we ended up bonding all the panels to the chassis, so it became a full stress skin on the car. This helps to increase the rigidity by over 3 times over the space frame alone, which is quite noticeable. We also wanted to have full independent suspension all round. So the whole car's got double wishbone. It's quite a lot wider as well, and we wanted to have really nice long wishbones, so you can keep the geometry nice and constant, yet keep it sprung fairly light and let it move about, rather than tending to go too hard on the springs. We got the engine a lot further back in the chassis, which isn't that noticeable on the face of it, but makes a big difference. We're around about 100 to 120 mil further back than than a lot of the other 7 Type cars, which gives you a dead 50-50 distribution, and you can tell the difference. We also did a few little aerodynamic tweaks all over the car. We've been in the wind tunnel a couple of times, and there's loads of subtle little bits all over that actually add up to make quite a difference. Going from like the front splitter, covering in all the suspension, which also helps for the IDA, for the chargers. We've got the flat top on the wings. Underbody of the car's completely flat with a rear diffuser. Cuts the drag down a lot. There's a little gain in downforce, but a lot of it's down to drag reduction. We've done a few other aero tweaks that we've played about with that can give you quite a bit more, but they don't tend to look great, so we've left them for now. Like I say, it's all aluminium panels with a GRP nose and wings, or the option of carbon fibre as well. Did a few other different things, like we did the exhaust coming out the bonnet and down. It actually helps quite a lot in under bonnet temperatures. It also helps with the initial flow on the manifold, and it's just a bit unique to us. Inside the car, there's a lot more room for the actual cockpits and the ergonomics of the driving position. We spent a lot of time, so there's a lot more width in there, a lot more room. Pedal layout nicer, and steering position, and you've got more room to actually get into the car. We've got the car in 2 options: a standard body, which is called the sports body, and then the GT. The GT is 40mm wider each side. Yet the core architecture of the car is the same. The geometry, everything's identical. It handles the same, yet it feels quite different, having that bit of extra space.
Wow, such a gorgeous car. I love it. And I'm just going to comment. One thing that we had spoken about earlier, and I just love about the work you do, is you do so much bespoke engineering right in your shop. And because I mentioned I have friends who have machine shops, and they have the computerized equipment you do. It's not just a matter of having the equipment. It is difficult finding people with the specific skill to program these instruments. And so I have to take my hat off and say, wow, the stuff you do at GBS is just like, it's off the chart.
Yeah, so we're really taking it from, if you like, the old fag packet drawing, coming up with the concept, the idea, right the way through the CAD, the CAM, onto the machine, onto the car, and trying it. Things like the front hubs we developed. So we did our own completely bespoke billet aluminium front hub that's our own caliper and everything. That was done right from the ground up. And we tried to put a lot of principles in there, which probably hark back to the original Lotus and Motorsport days. If every bolt can have 2 functions, so for instance, the bolts that hold the steering arm on also hold the wheel bearing assembly. The bolts that hold the wing bracket also hold the top mount on. The caliper bolts go straight through, so it's a radial mount caliper straight onto the hub. We've done little things like we've wanted to go flat L's on the brakes and keep the centre of the disc pretty much on the centre of the wheel bearing. So if you get any deflection and movement in the bearing, you don't get any knockback on the pads. Lots of little thinking like that's probably come from high level motorsport and that, but we've tried to bring it onto what we're doing. You probably don't notice the individual bits, but as a whole, they all add up and make quite a difference.
Well, and that's because you're so proud of it, but I'm just looking at it. It's just a gorgeous car too. I just love, appearance wise, it's very, very attractive looking car.
Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome.
And then if you want, we can have a in the showroom quick and then maybe go to the workshop.
That sounds just perfect. Why don't we have a peek in the showroom, and then you can show us some of the little projects you're working on in the shop. All right, cheers. I'll follow you.
So we've got our showroom in here. So we've also got the kit spare side of the business where we do all the parts. So the aim is to have at least one car's worth of bits on the shelf at any one time. So for spare parts, people upgrading and that, we try to have it all here ready. And then we've got, Geotech engine. So this is what we've got in the car outside. So it's your 2.5 Geotech onto the brand new Mazda NC gearbox, 5-speed.
Lovely.
With all our own throttle bodies on that we make. So they're all done. We do all our own water pulleys. The whole exhaust system we make, so all the 3-axis tube bending, all things like that we're doing. We've then got, I'll just show you one of the front hubs in a little bit more detail.
In some detail. That I'm just, I'm in love.
Weight-wise, you know, you'd never do that with the old cast iron hubs or anything.
No, look at that. Look at the bespoke brakes that you've got.
So it's our own 4-pot caliper.
Absolutely fab.
which again, there's a lot of little details on there that we've done. So we've done a lot of nice contouring on the machine. Not necessarily the fastest way, but you get that nice arc to it. So you've got that bridge on the caliper, which helps to increase the rigidity. Also, if you imagine the centre line of your pistons, the bolts are past centre, so it helps give more rigidity, stops it from peeling. All little details, but it makes it feel a lot nicer.
Very, very, very nice.
Then we've got our own shock absorbers that we make.
Yes.
So for the car, it's a full alley monotube damper. We do adjust them on the bottom. We do them in various different lengths and that for loads of different cars, from our own cars, Formula 1 stock cars, quite a bit of historic racing, from single seaters to unmarked Jags. Do a few in the Lotus market for the Elises and Aforas, that sort of thing. It's quite a nice product. We've got it on a lot of cars now.
Wow.
Then just give you an idea of some of the other bits. Got all the billet sumps we've made, some of the water pulleys, oil housings. We do a really nice bespoke loop for the car as well.
Yes, I love that. I've seen that on some of the builds, and I say that's absolutely fabulous, because when I built mine, I basically used the bike loom that my bike came with, and then I was on my own. So what you've done there is off the chart.
I think a lot
Wonderful.
of time wiring's a fear for people. So we tried to make it simple, so everything's all labelled, plug and play. There's loads of different options with that. There's a couple of YouTube videos we've done on there if people want to have a more detailed look.
That sounds great.
And then we've got some of the throttle body manifolds for loads of different engines and different options. That's kind of basically the showroom. And if you want a quick look in the workshop,
I'd like to see that and see how busy you are at GBS.
We've got quite a few cars in at the minute.
I'm ready.
And then we've got, through that side, we've got all the stores and all the parts and some cars and kits ready for dispatch, and the CNC machine shop, which we can probably have a look another day.
All right.
So we'll just go into the workshop.
Sounds great. I'll follow you.
So one project we've got there is that Wales we manufacture brand new, every part's new. That's running the 2.5 Geotech. Coming into the main workshop.
Lovely.
We've got 6 zeros in at the moment.
6 zeros. Wow.
So the green one's a factory built car. So it's got the 2.5 litre, really nice car. Actually, the colour scheme on this is awesome. So it's got all the carbon fibre interior panels, the Smith's instrument with all the warning lights built in, all our own alley stalks on it.
Yes, I saw that. That's gorgeous.
Then it's running the 2.5 Geotech. So you can see we moved the engine quite a lot further back.
So clean.
Really nice scuttle. So we just wanted it to look minimal.
So clean. I love it.
So that's Yeah, it's really nice, this green one. It's just come back for its first service from the customer down in Bedford. Then we've got the blue one, which is in for its IVA test.
Yes.
Which is, I don't know if you have, the IVA test is like the UK government's test to get them on the road, where they go through the car and look at various aspects of the build, the e-marking approvals and so on.
Yes.
Which is fairly straightforward. We've kind of engineered the whole vehicle around the approvals for the UK and other countries. Then we've got the white one, which is a French customer's car, which is hopefully collecting once he can get into the country.
Lovely.
We've got the orange one in the doorway. That's being collected by the customer on Friday. It's a full factory build. We're just fitting the number plates and giving it a quick once over.
Yep.
But then we also do some other stuff. For instance, here we've got a 1966 Brabham.
Wow, nice.
Which is running the old Ford BDA engine, which is a bit of a screamer. So it's really nice. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
So we're just going through it, getting it ready for the customer. He's actually got a 0 as well, but he's had this car in his family since the late 60s. That his father raced, and he raced it a little bit, and then he just wanted it sort of recommissioning and getting it back up and running. So we've been doing that for him.
Lovely.
We've also got an old Lotus that we've just done a full rebuild on. So it's got the old Lotus twin cam and everything. It's quite nice to see how cars have evolved and come on.
No kidding.
Over the years. Yeah, they're pretty basic in areas. So we do a few other projects and different engineering work as well for people, but the core business definitely is our own car and that. But a lot of that expertise and engineering knowledge is sort of transfers into other areas. We've done some aerospace projects with people, all sorts of different things. Really, it's quite varied.
You are a busy man.
And then we've got upstairs on the mezzanine, we've got 3 factory-built cars that are on the go as well.
Wow.
And that's about it, really, in a quick tour of the workshop.
Thank you so much for bringing us through. I do appreciate it.
So yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to look at?
No, I'm totally loving what you've shown us, and I appreciate it so much because you're a very busy man. Perhaps we can just take a step back out to the red car, and I will
we'll have a look at that.
And
red car.
it was just a quick look at that to finish up, and I will say thank you, and we'll let you get on with your day, and we'll get on with what we're doing here at 7 Spot.
Yeah. So we'll just go back over to the demonstrator.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, Richard, this is where I come in, and this is where we kind of are going to part ways. But I'm going to exit the solo layout where you were giving us the tour, and I'm going to bring myself back in. Richard, I just wanted to say thank you on behalf of everyone at 7 Spot. What you are doing there, I said it before, it's off the chart. I mean, the stuff that you do, the attention to detail that you have displayed with the cars that you manufacture is literally right off the chart, in my humble opinion. It's absolutely fabulous.
No, thank you very much. I hope you got a bit of an insight into what we're doing, what we're about as a company. We really want to move the 7 concept on, in both performance, quality, design, and then on to other models and that in the future. And
well, and
it's really good to share that with people, and I hope you've enjoyed it.
Well, I have, and I want to say, all I'm going to do right now, Richard, is I'm going to once again say thank you. Thank you for sharing a little bit with us, because I mean, you've given us now a almost 20 minutes of your time, and I know you're busy. All I have to do is look at your shop and I can see, oh my God, you're busy. And good on you, because you've earned it. And this is one thing I did want to say is, I noticed on your website that I'm in North America, and I know that in British Columbia we have a GBS customer, and good on that. But you on your website you do have USA spec cars that you were exporting. Are you soon going to have a North American distributor, or is that something you're working at still?
We've done about at least 20 cars to America now. Quite a few are on the road now. We've got Paul, who's in California, who's taking care of customers out there and sales and that. So if anyone wants to make kind of just let us know. It may be worth you having a chat with him as well.
I'm looking forward to
really nice Zero as well.
That's the reason why I brought it up, because I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of folks on the North American shores are going to be very, very keen to see how they can get more information on Zeros, because what can I say? They are great British sports cars. So that's where we're going to part ways. I'm going to say, Richard Hall, thank you so much for your time, and we are looking forward to seeing you at 7 Spot. Thanks again, Richard.
Thank you.
Cheers for now.
Bye. Bye.
Hey, Richard, we're still broadcasting, but I'm going to edit this bit out. I wanted to say thank you, and I mean it sincerely.
Was that okay?
Well, there was a couple of spots that no, you don't have to do a redo, but the spot where you were pointing out the red car on the exterior of your shop, I'm going to have to edit that part out, because it just literally, both visually and from the audio point, it just faded out. Once we got back into the shop, everything went quite well for the most part. And with these live broadcasts, they're not going to be the same pixelization as you did in the videos you put up for YouTube. Just not that we don't have the bandwidth to do that. It'll probably come out at about 720p, and I don't think that we're going to see much fade, but there may be a couple of spots where the audio and the video are out of step for a moment, maybe. But I'm going to quickly now do a quick edit. I'm going to add it to the video that I made previously, and I'm going to send you a link so you can have a quick look at it. And if we're both in agreement, then I'll put it out. How's that sound?
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
Okay, look forward to seeing you at 7 Spot, Richard. Thank you.
Thanks
again.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Thank you then. Bye.
Bye.